Lady, hear me tonight, 'cause the feeling is so right. As I dance in the moonlight. Hey, baby. Lady, hear me tonight.
The Atlantic just dropped even more secret group chat leaks, and it looks even worse for the Trump team than before, as the White House is trying to use semantics to downplay what an absolute dangerous disaster this is. The Elon Musk, Hassan Piker, Assassin's Creed situation is equal parts pathetic and funny. We need to talk about the craziness that happened with one of the Palestinian directors of No Other Land following their Oscar win, and then a good news story to keep you sane. We're talking about all that and much more.
Lady, hear me tonight.
How it's being covered and
Hello, I think that's Farsi. I can't speak Farsi, I'm sorry. Or read
that
it.
secret signal group chat, and it sure as hell looks like Jeffrey Goldberg was telling the truth. Because as we talked about yesterday,
How are you doing, loves? How's everybody doing today? I gotta find my phone charger in a minute. Lady, hear me tonight, 'cause the feeling is just so right. As we dance by the moonlight, can't you see you're my delight? Lady, hear me tonight.
The Atlantic.
Yo, what's up, Tim?
National Security Advisor
Thank you,
Mike
lad.
Waltz
Hope you're doing well.
accidentally added him to a signal group chat in which the vice president and top cabinet officials discussed plans to strike the Houthis in Yemen. Strikes which reportedly killed at least 53 people, including
Darth.
Goldberg, revealing all of this a couple of days ago,
In
and
the wrong
claiming that
place.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth shared in the chat precise information about weapons packages, targets, and timing. And so right away, you had legal experts noting that this whole done surviving constitute violations of the Espionage Act, Federal Records Act, not to mention just being a breach of national security. And this not only because Goldberg was added to the chat, but because the chat existed in the first place. Reclassified materials are not supposed to be on private messaging platforms like Signal. But despite all that, Trump, members of his administration, and other Republican allies have downplayed the whole situation, and notably, in many cases, denying that classified information had been shared. Right on Monday, you had Hegseth calling Goldberg a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes, and then saying,
nobody was texting.
Hey, business owner, tired of wasting hours on scheduling, attendance, and payroll? Connecting's here to simplify all of that for you.
War plans, and that's all I have to say about that.
Also, at a Senate hearing yesterday, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and the Director of the Central Intelligence Agency, John Ratcliffe, were both asked about the signal chat, with Gabbard telling members of the Senate Intelligence Committee
there was no classified material that was shared.
and you had Ratcliffe saying much the same.
My communications, to be clear, in a signal message group were entirely permissible and lawful and did not include classified information.
And finally, yesterday, you had Trump himself saying,
it wasn't classified information, so this was not classified. Now, if it's classified information, it's probably a little bit different.
and so then, with that, you had Goldberg and his colleague Shane Harris writing today that these statements presented them with a dilemma, or with them noting that in the initial story about the signal chat, they withheld specific information related to weapons and to the timing of attacks that we found in certain texts, with them explaining that, as a general rule, they don't publish information about military operations if that information could possibly jeopardize the lives of U.S. personnel. So saying that is why they chose to characterize the nature of the information being shared, not specific details about the attack.
Your hair is curly? Curly hair is awesome. I love curly hair.
That the statements by Hegseth, Gabbard, Ratcliffe, and Trump, combined with the assertions made by numerous administration officials that we are lying about the content of the signal text, that's led us to believe that people should see the text.
Yo, what's up, Oliver? How you doing, love?
And add it. There is a clear public interest in disclosing the sort of information that Trump advisors included in non-secure communications channels, especially because senior administration figures are attempting to downplay the significance of the messages that were shared. Also, with all of that, notably, Goldberg and Harris still asked officials in the Trump administration if they objected to them publishing the full text. With reportedly White House Press Secretary Caroline
I feel like fingers as long as arms would have more utility. But they would look, both would look weird. Very weird.
However,
What about everybody else in chat? Would you rather have arms as long as fingers or fingers as long as arms? Yo, what's up, Eric? How you doing? Thank you, Oliver.
Yes, we object to the
This is a little bit painful.
CIA spokesperson reported
It's a little bit.
replying by asking them to withhold the name of Radcliffe's chief of staff, which he had shared in the Signal chat because CIA intelligence officers are traditionally not publicly identified.
Yeah, I don't want to be T-Rex in it, you
Also
know?
defended his sharing of the officer's identity in the hearing yesterday.
T-Rex arms would be very inconvenient.
Of, a CIA officer not operating undercover, completely
Hi,
appropriate,
Kevin.
who does openly and routinely
Yo, Eddie, leave my nipples alone.
the White House as a member of my staff.
But still, even with
Just because you can show your nipples on YouTube doesn't mean you need to make fun of me for mine, okay?
Some of which we've seen or had an idea about before. You J.D. Vance, for example, seemingly disagreeing with Trump.
Sexism is alive and well. My titties have to stay hidden. Don't talk about them.
Message on Europe right now. And then, with that, another takeaway being the contempt members of the administration seem to have for our allies, with Hegseth writing, "I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic." But of
I'm
course,
glad you're
most notably,
existing,
right,
cuz. I'm
he
happy
thinks
that you
we now got to
exist.
see exactly what Goldberg meant when he said that Hegseth shared precise
Sorry if
information
today
about
isn't
weapons
the best
packages,
day.
targets, and timing.
Do I like
March
cheese?
15th,
I like
the attacks,
cheese.
the defense secretary sent a
What's
team
your guys'
update
favorite
announcing
type
whether
of
it's
cheese?
favorable, just confirmed with
I like
CENTCOM,
mozzarella.
we go for mission launch. With them then revealing at 12:15 the first strike package F-18 fighter jets would be launched. Then at 1:45 they would strike their target terrorist, and MQ-9 strike drones would also be launched.
Yippee! Hello, Ollie.
Minutes before the warplanes were launched, and about 2 hours before they were meant to reach their target. You know, I just cannot really overstate how important that information is. So with Goldberg and Harris, for example, noted that experts have told them that the use of signal chat for such sensitive discussions poses a threat to national security. With them explaining, you know, amongst other things, that
It's
this
just
information,
so
especially the
right.
exact times American aircraft were taking off for Yemen, had fallen into the wrong hands.
Aw, I'm
American
sorry,
pilots and other
Kaz.
American
I
personnel
love you,
could have been
buddy.
exposed to even greater danger than they ordinarily would face. And then also, I mean, there's more, because you had Hegseth sending additional updates about timing.
Right, yeah.
But then at 1:48 p.m. after the initial
Like
strike,
social
Walt sent a
media?
message containing real-time intelligence about conditions at an attack site, writing, VP building collapse had multiple positive ID. With that, reportedly suggesting that U.S. intelligence had ascertained the identities of the Houthi target or targets using either human or technical assets. With then, 6 minutes later, Vance, apparently confused by Waltz's message, responding with, "What?" Which Waltz then responded, typing too fast, "The first target, their top missile guy, we had positive ID of him walking into his girlfriend's building and it's now collapsed." And then finally, Hegseth later telling the
Yikes.
group that the attacks would be continuing and basically saying he would keep sharing these highly sensitive operational details in a
Yeah.
that he
Yeah,
didn't
take
even
a
know were there,
break. Take a
writing,
break.
"Great job,
Maybe
all.
don't
More
delete your
strikes
stuff, but
ongoing
maybe
for
just
hours
to like
tonight
delete
and
the
full
apps
full
from your
short report
phone.
tomorrow, but on time, on target, and good readout so far. Also, say beyond that, as everyone's now getting their hands on this, you have people pointing out some other interesting things. Right? Like, for example, you had the Atlantic also
Take a break
publishing
from
screen
it.
grabs showing
See how you feel later.
And notably, absent is Admiral Christopher Grady, the acting chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the senior military
I've been
advisor to the
taking a little
President
break
and
from it,
Defense Secretary.
honestly.
So with that, you had the New York Times writing, "It is unheard of that the Pentagon's highest-ranking officer would not be included in a senior meeting on a military operation." Also, you know, that message from Waltz about
I know I'm cute, bro. I'm like a gremlin right now. I just don't give a fuck.
Noting that this offers insight into the military surveillance capabilities in this location, writing, "You only know that
No more
if you
YouTube,
have
meaning no
overhead
more Cassie live
surveillance,
streams?
comms, intercepts, or
No.
can operate
I'll still be
above
on
ground."
YouTube and stuff.
Then, of course, in addition to that, there is the story on the flip side, because we are already seeing the pushback from the Trump
I'm just not
administration
doing
with
like,
the
I
initial
used to do
argument
like
seemingly
these
being
like
based around
kind of
the
like
idea that the
networking
First Atlantic
promo
Article
groups
said
for
war
stuff,
plans
and
this
I am not
space
doing
as
that
attack
anymore.
plans. Seeing Levitt, the
At least
White
not the
House
way I
press
used
secretary,
to.
writing on X,
It's
"This
too
entire
spammy.
story was another hoax written by a Trump hater who is well known for his sensationalist spin." And this is you had
Too
Mike
much time on
Waltz,
my
who yesterday
phone.
said he took full
Yeah,
responsibility
she's
for
just
Goldberg
walking
getting into the group,
in like
also
she
saying
owns
no
the
locations,
place.
no sources and
Hello,
methods,
Chronic.
no war plans. But then also a Pentagon spokesperson and Hegseth himself hitting that same note, right, calling the whole thing a hoax and really hitting on war plans
Do
versus
you own the
attack plans.
place?
Right, and so with that, you know, we've seen a number of Trump supporters.
She says she
agreeing with
owns
that
the
sentiment, but
place.
then others saying, no, you're just kind of arguing semantics.
She says
Right, arguing
all
that
of you
even if
guys
they
are her
weren't full-on
minions.
war plans, however you
All
define
of
that,
you.
they were still attack plans, and experts say that them being shared in this way could have put American lives in danger. With, for example, one former Pentagon official from the first Trump administration saying that the launch times posted in the chat.
Honestly, I don't want to have socials at all. Like, people suck. Oh, damn. What happened? What happened, Kaz?
Classified and protected. Disclosure would compromise the operation and put
Were
lives
people
at
being
risk.
mean or
Extra nuclear
something?
and covert operations. This information is the most.
Are you getting
protected.
harassed?
So with
Do I
that,
need to
there
beat
have been
someone
increasing
up?
calls for Hegseth to step down, including from Senator Tammy Duckworth, who you had writing on X. Pete Hegseth is a fucking
Do I like
liar.
to
This is
snuggle
so
or no?
clearly
I love
classified and
snuggles.
recklessly
Snuggles are
leaked.
great. Chronic
We've
loves to
gotten our
snuggle
pilot
too.
skill.
She's she's just like more princessa about her snuggles. Like only the right way, otherwise I'm gonna claw you, kind of thing.
But still supporting Trump.
Hey, thanks,
Conceding that
50K.
sensitive information had been shared, but still,
Is DeFranco
Trump
the main
Trump
person you
writing
go
a
to for
statement. I think
news?
President Trump has handled this very well. And adding further, I believe that all the participants.
I guess so. Like if there was a person, like I go to like various different sources for like my information on news, but I really like the way that Phil lines it out very cohesively. Arguably like the most important events of the day. I like the way he kind of gives both sides of it. So yeah, I would say he's like the main like person that I go to, but not the main source that I have. If there was like one person, you know. What about you guys? Do you have like a main dude for news? Hi from South Africa. Hello, Rian. I have a friend in South Africa. Da da. Dun, 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 dun. People are strange. It's hard to explain, but I don't want to have anything to do with socials anymore. So toxic. Okay, well, take a break, Kaz, for sure. I probably wouldn't be on socials as much if it wasn't my job. So if you, yeah, need to step away, I get that. I'm sending you so much love, though. I'm sorry people were being weird.
In the chat were under the impression they were using an appropriate and secure form of communication.
Level 1, is that good or bad? Good. I just have like a bot in chat where I think the more you chat, it like levels you up, I think. I haven't customized it that much yet, though.
Category of lessons learned. Though again, all of this is playing out as takes like Graham's and those that have been far more defensive have been put in the category of downplaying a catastrophic fuck up. Right? Numerous people with the appropriate background.
That being said, Phil being like the main person I go to for my news, I still disagree with him on certain things. I'm not like a yes man to anyone kind of thing. Sometimes Phil will say something, I'm like, oh, maybe I think about it a little differently than that.
And experience saying,
as we all should
not classified information,
be honest about how we think and not just fall in line with what other people say.
Of the Atlantic in the chat, and doing so on a less secure platform.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. You're not gonna get the boot. You're fine.
Possibly subvert Freedom of Information Act requests and conceal damning information from the public. I mean, it's part of the reason you've seen people who have traditionally been in Donald Trump and his team's corner, like Dave Portnoy, saying, "Head's got to roll over this." They're saying, "Mike Waltz, you have to lose your job."
I don't like calling for people's heads. Michael Waltz, it seems like you're the guy who added him to the group chat. You have to lose your job. You should step down. You cannot be.
I got boba earlier. It was in the freezer.
Classified information to say, oh no,
trying to like mix
it's on him. He should have left the group chat instantly. This guy shouldn't have stayed in. It's on Jeffrey Goldberg for not immediately being like, hey, I should be here. No. It's on you for adding them.
Though, of course, with that, you had people noting just Goldberg being added to the chat was just one of the several.
I honestly don't have an outlet like that. I don't care about news pretty much unless they're from my hyperfixations like gaming. I see. I think I've kind of tapped out with gaming news. I think I got a really big reality check in like 2020 when my home state was burning down. So I got a really big reality check about that. So honestly, kind of since I've started caring more about real life news than gaming news. I like gaming, don't get me wrong, but I'm much more invested in like, I guess, political and foreign affairs kinds of news, the economy and stuff like that, more than gaming these days. Which is why I come on here to talk about it, because it can be a lot to take in all the information on your own. But yeah, I like to stay informed because for me personally, I grew up in, like marijuana prohibition, and it was heavily demonized, and I went through a lot of trauma within my family unit because of the war on drugs. So finding out like how laws are made, who's making the laws, what their agendas are for these kinds of things, and advocating for decriminalizing cannabis, psilocybin, things like that, I think is very, 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 very important to at least be somewhat informed. I get it can be a lot to be like immersed into it. It can be very chaotic, very hateful a lot of the time, but just, like if you don't have the time to do your own research, there's some good like bite-sized thing. I think like Ground News can be one of them. I think that's a paid app, but Yeah, and that's what I desire to do more of, is sharing like informative news, but just having like a whole news network is a whole thing. But yeah, I'm very curious and fascinated about it. Very much a activist, I guess, in my own way. I don't really go to protest in person right now at the moment, although I want to start doing that selectively more. I just don't want to risk getting into any trouble right now, because I have obligations in my life that I need to take care of. Wish there wasn't so many weirdos in the world. Good people are hard to meet. I think we could have fun and last together. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad because, yeah, like the weirdos of the world would ruin it for the people who are trying to have a good time, for sure.
Hits on incompetence, but also it just kind of hits on the part of that's why they got caught. But then also, in addition to that, notably, this was all happening as U.S. intelligence chiefs were again getting ready to testify before the House Intelligence Committee, where we saw Democrats with giant printouts of the messages released this morning, and then otherwise just hammering down how much of a massive fuck-up this seemed to be, and pushing for the administration to acknowledge that and accept responsibility, including there being calls for Hegseth to resign. But at one point, for example, it was pointed out that the messages released today appear to directly contradict Gabbard's claim yesterday that...
I feel like that's the unfortunate thing a lot of people feel like they have to do, though, is they have to destroy the old world to build a new one. And while parts of the old world are being destroyed and are collapsing, and that presents an opportunity for us to rebuild, I do think too many people feel like there's something they have to destroy rather than integrate into like the framework of like how human beings can work and how we can work together. There's too many people around the world that are like, once I destroy this aspect of humanity or this aspect of the world, then we can live in peace. But I really do, with my life lived so far, the lessons I've learned, it does lean more into the aspect of like integrating these different types of people and these different philosophies with each other, by any means possible, peacefully, safely, rather than attempting to destroy, because then it becomes like an Ouroboros where everyone's just seeking to destroy this thing that they've conceived as the problem. But I think the focusing on the rebuilding, like okay, so there's these aspects of the world that you don't like. If they were to fall away, what would you create more space for? Like creating more space for the things that you want to build, like whether that's like sustainable living, like community centers, like, you know, things like that, free food centers. Little house smile, are you aware of what I'm talking about? I've been told about it. I just kind of have a crooked smile. I also, before I found out that I was on the autism spectrum, I would get made fun of a lot in video calls for like my mouth movements, and I wouldn't be like a conscious thing, but I do have like little quirks. So thank you for admiring my quirks. I appreciate it. But I get the urge to destroy, like some things, yeah. Like I get that, but a lot of times when I've had those like destructive or self-destructive urges, I'm like, okay, maybe I could have gone about that a better way. Oh man.
That precise operational issues were not part of this conversation, with Gabbard saying that her answer was based on her, quote, recollection or lack thereof on the details that were posted in the chat.
I give my life to create a new world even? Well, Don't view it as the, I don't want to assume your intent with what you said, but don't martyr yourself, but dedicate your life to that, if that's truly, you know, like how you feel. Like, because I feel that way. I would dedicate my life to building a better world. I would use, you know, my time on this world to live stream or to you know, like volunteer to talk with people and explore ideas, I absolutely am on board with that idea. I would want to use my life, yeah, for building a better world. That seems like a great goal. Do I play music? Occasionally. I have a couple covers on my channel. Do you do percussion, artistic percussion? I see, the thing is, Kaz, to build a better world, to build a safer world, to build a world that's more abundant, I don't think it requires you to sacrifice your life in the way that you're doing like a trade. I think you could have that goal and that ambition and live a fulfilling life while also like adding to the world and, you know, like co-creating a better, safer, more beautiful world. Because I feel like a lot of people, like whether it's military or resistance movements, there's the concept of like, oh, you're dying for your country or you're dying for your cause, in like the sense of becoming a martyr. I can't talk. But yeah, it's really sad that like it's to that point. Like I'm thinking of, yeah, like we were talking about yesterday, Aaron Bushnell. It's sad that people like feel like they have to die in that way. I feel like there's a better way, but yeah, cool. I do play percussion. I'll check out your covers. Awesome. Yeah, my covers are kind of rusty, but I kind of just put them out there because I was like, I'll look back at them later and be like, oh wow, look how much I've grown, kind of thing. I used to be really hard on myself for my music, so I wouldn't share any of it, but then I decided, fuck it, I'll just throw it out there. To be fair, there's no better world. I just live the hell out of it without worrying about it. I mean, we will all explode one day, so I gotta live it. Yeah, and also just like live your life. Don't worry too much about what other people are doing. Try and help where you can, but also, yeah, like you only get this one life in this body as Kaz or as me or as any of you guys in chat, so you might as well enjoy it. But for me, like, it is enjoyable doing like, I don't know, like gardening or community building. I do hope some changes made for the better for everyone. That's real, yeah. Bum bum. Right, you contribute more than you know for many people around you. Believe that. True that. Your impact is always bigger than you think it is, than you can see right
Information
in
was
front of
not
you.
classified, even if it was extremely sensitive.
get out
It
of
was a
here, man.
mistake that a reporter was
can't harass my
inadvertently
kid.
added to a signal
No, I
chat
know you wanna
with
play
high-level
with her. She don't
national
want to.
security principals, having a
I know.
policy discussion about imminent strikes against the Houthis. The conversation was candid and sensitive. As the President National Security
My dog
Advisor
grew
stated,
opposable
no
thumbs and
classified
learned how to
information
open the door.
was shared. There
It's
were
a
no
problem.
sources, methods, locations, or war plans.
I switched from due dates to due
Oh my god, the
dates, and
ads
it
are
made
so
me go
bad.
from weeks back.
Okay, my name's Save Eddie Elliott. What? Can you write my names down and put on your wall, please? Listen, buddy. Listen. It's a very niche request. I might do the thing where like I do like write my subs on the wall or something, but I'm in the middle of moving right now, so I'm actually packing.
Same time, we saw that she didn't disagree that information about the timing of the attacks was classified as top secret under intelligence community rules. She then also defended it by saying that the material was posted to the chat by Hexa.
I feel like that's always like the end point for people, like, World War III or aliens are gonna take us out. I don't know. I have a much more positive outlook on aliens than I feel like a lot of people do, and maybe that's like naive, but yeah, I don't know. But I'm sure there's like different kinds of aliens, like some are hostile, some are not so much. Dun, dun, dun. Like if I were an alien coming to a new planet discovering Earth, I would treat it like the most rare flower that I've never like understood, and I'd like want to understand it but not harm it, like not even like crinkle a petal, you know? You remind me so much of the person who helped me convert to Christianity. I lost contact with them, but you remind me so much of her. I know it's random, but God bless you either way. Oh, God bless you too. Artistic percussion. I'm very agnostic, but I do play with like the messages that Jesus had. I grew up very Christian, so yeah, I'm very agnostic though, but very spiritual at the same time. Dun dun. Listen, Steph Squires, you're asking a lot for somebody who is not giving very much. Reciprocity is key.
As Secretary of Defense, he is in
Do
charge
I have
of
tats on my
declassified
tummy?
material
No,
for
not
the
yet.
Pentagon.
Hi,
Mrs.
Jack. Good to
Ratcliffe,
see
on the other hand,
you.
accused Goldberg of being deliberately false and misleading in his
Okay, I
report, insisting
actually
that he
think
didn't
I want to
share any
partake in some
classified
herbs.
information, but then also simply.
Give me just a second. I'm gonna go grab that. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, I got a sushi roll. I got a crunch roll. I love crunch rolls. Oh. I'm so happy to be alive. Oh my god, food is so good. I'm so grateful to be here. This is delicious. Ah. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I'm gonna eat it with my fingers. Mmm, 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 mmm. As I said, Steph, you're asking for a lot while offering nothing. You want me to own you. You want me to adopt you. You want me to take on the responsibility of another life. You've offered me nothing. I'm sorry, dude. Get in line. Too many people want me to own them. I'm full. We're full. The shelter's full. Maybe give some subs or something on Twitch. I don't know. Maybe I'll put your name on my wall then. We can arrange something. But that's a big ask out of nowhere. I'll just bet you.
Seemingly ducking the
What's up,
question
Kellogg?
if
How you doing,
classified
love?
information had been shared in general.
My answers haven't changed. I used an appropriate channel to communicate sensitive information. It was permissible
I just
to
want to
do
be someone's
so. I
equal.
didn't.
You are equal to every single person on the universe, Fast Eddie. And if anybody makes you feel like you're not, there's something there's a screw loose.
Transfer any classified information.
You know, with all of this, we're gonna have to wait to see how things play out, right? Do we get more information? Is there
How's
any
your
real
day,
fallout or
Kellogg? I miss you,
accountability? All
buddy.
of this, of course, developing in real time. So, in the meantime, I gotta pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts, opinions, and reactions here? Right? Let me know what they are in those comments down below. Because yes, this is a news show, but I also want it to be a
God, your day's
conversation.
okay.
And then I've got more news for you in just.
Just want fun, love, and happiness. That's a mood. That's a mood. Busy. Nice. I hope good busy. Eddie Elliott, Steph Squires. I will be your queen. I will be your queen. But if you would like an honorary position on my wall, you must gift subs to the other villagers. Or subscribe on Twitch. What's up, Bumble? Happy birthday, buddy. It's still your birthday. How you doing? How's your day so far? How's everything going today? Things are going good. Hung out with some friends this morning. Took a nap. Argued with some people this morning. Shout out William. Shout out Vectone. Oh man. Doing good. Ate too much. Oh shit, what'd you eat? Guys, it's Bumble's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Twitch is not live. No, it's not. But I can still see if people give subs. You can give subs offline. You just can't give subs on YouTube yet. Did you subscribe on my Twitch? Eddie Elliott. I know my place. Nobody. I respect it. Okay, man, that's kind of far. I'm sure you're a great person. It seems like you might be into what you're saying, though. I ain't gonna squash your fantasy. I am the queen. I know the way. Got some non-alcoholic Corona, nice. I gotta plug in my laptop, it's dying. Happy birthday to Bumble. Happy birthday to Bumble. It's Bumblebee's birthday. Ghost Bumblebee's birthday. Not Bumblebee. Ghost Bumbles. Bumble, like, I'm assuming by your name it's meant to be Bumblebee, right? It looks like a bee there.
Moment. But first, so many of y'all have been so supportive of me and my health journey, so thank you for that. I've posted progress shots like these over the last year or so, and the comments have been very, very encouraging. Running
Those
the
come a
exercise
long
is a
way,
huge
man.
shift for me, but I've also majorly shifted my diet and protein intake. With that,
Bums be
denying myself
Bumble.
foods that I love was just not sustainable. And so a big part of my
How
strategy
was
has
the
been to eat the
con?
healthiest
Oh yeah,
versions
you
of
haven't been back since the con, have you? I caught up with people a little bit yesterday. It was really good. I danced my ass off. I was supposed to go with Ryder, but he stayed back to take care of the pup because our hotel wasn't pet friendly. And we don't have his service animal paperwork finalized yet. But I got dropped off from my friend, and then I was like waiting to check into my hotel. I was like doing my makeup because I was running late, and there's this cute couple that I was like behind when I was doing my makeup. I was like, okay, they're cute. And then some other cosplayers came out. I was like, hello. And I was talking with them a little bit, so I made some friends. And then I went to the convention after I was all ready. Filmed my little TikToks, and then I saw some photographers floating around. I was like, hey, yo, you do photos? Because I was like trying to take a selfie, and I was like, not. I couldn't get my whole outfit in the frame, and I felt awkward. And then I ran up to this girl who's dressed as Powder. I'll put the pictures in the vlog. I don't know if I got her page, but she was dressed as Powder, so I took a picture with her. Got some photos taken by some photographers, and then I was wandering around a little bit, caught a little bit of the cosplay contest. Went to an anime bar, and in the line for the anime bar, I was behind some of the go-go dancers, and I connected with them and made some friends, and they're like, hey, we're gonna go grab a drink. We had a drink in the anime bar. I was like getting to know them. They're all super sweet, lovely people, and then after that, they're like, we're gonna go get ready at our hotel room. Do you want to come back and like hang out with us? I was like, okay. And then I brought Uno cards, so we were playing Uno for a bit, and then We did some shots of tequila. Sweet boy brought me French fries that I forgot in the hotel room because I'm stupid. And then yeah, we went to the rave and we danced all night, and it was great. I danced until the rave ended. Got some footage of the other dancers, but I didn't get like a ton of myself. But I had people coming up to me all night saying like, "I love your energy" and blah blah blah. And I was like, just like ecstatic and feeding off the energy of the other people because I hadn't left my house in a minute or went out dancing in a minute. So, and yeah, I usually dance on stream and blah blah blah. And so being around actual people and the energy was like reciprocated. I was just like, I went ham. I had so much fun. But my legs were out of freaking commission the next couple days. Player, yeah. Bro, and like, I'm not trying to whatever, but like, people were flirting with me. Okay. You're cute too. They were all cute. Everyone who came up to me was so cute. Everyone I danced with was so cute, so stylish, good energy. I didn't have a bad experience at all. I don't have Twitch. You can show me your be owned by women. Okay, if you want to be owned by women, you're gonna need to give something to those women. If women, you know, like that, like what you're looking for seems like a findom kind of thing. Which one, this is not the place for it. And two, reciprocity. You can't just like walk up to people and expect them to like provide for you and provide a service for you just cuz, you know. Oh, and then I fucking passed out of my hotel. I had a little bit too much to drink, so I was like a little bit hungover, and then I went back to the con the next day, and I had to check out of my hotel, so I had to carry all my stuff, which was so heavy, so I didn't walk around much. I went to the artist alley, got a few things, and then I kind of just planted myself in the convention center lobby. And then I was like, I don't know what to do. And then I put out my sign for free face painting and face art. And because I didn't have like a vendor's license, but I had like face painting stuff with me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just throw it out there if anyone wants it. And, you know, donations accepted, whatever. And I had quite a few lovely, incredible people come up to me and let me paint them. And some of them were staff members. Like the staff members were like lurking when I was painting this one girl's face, who was just so sweet. She's wonderful. I was like painting her face, or not her face, her hand, and I painted a Nami tattoo on her. But the staff members were just like lurking, and they were like, hey, like watching me. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get in trouble. And then the one staff member comes up after I'm done, and he's like, will you make me bonita? I was like, you're already bonita. And he's like, make me more bonita. And then just all the staff members kind of like lined up for me to paint them. It was so sweet. It was so cute. I got some pictures of their paint jobs. But yeah, it was a really good time. Made me want to do more painting and stuff like that. And the last time I painted people was Base Ribbon Pines Festival last year. And the girl that I painted was so sweet as well. And she invited me to come do more face painting at another place in Minnesota sometime. A little flow jam kind of thing they do, which I left, so I just wasn't around. But just, I love doing that. It was so much fun. Goodbye, Fast Eddie. Take care. Sweet dreams. Have a lovely evening. LOL, you have to act like you belong. Nice. Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so those staff members, like, the night before at the anime rave, I was, like, dancing with them. Like, they were the coolest staff ever. One of the staff members, though, came up to me and was like, hey, yo, you gotta put your shoes on. Hotel policy. I was like, okay. These cosplay boots are not that comfy, though. Sam, get out of here, motherfucker! Get out! No. My dog has learned to open door handles. He straight up opens door handles. The door is shut. He opens the handle and like he's a human, I guess. He wants to come in and sniff Chronic's butt, but Chronic does not like it. Thank you so much, Jack. It was so great though. It was such a great experience. Like the Real House rapper has evolved. Oh man. I went home with girls. Well, okay, so one of the go-go dancers was, I believe they're still he, him pronouns, I believe. I don't want to assume, but was it two of the other dancers I was hanging out with? Yeah, two of them were girls, and then they had their partners and stuff, and it was like 7 people, I think. But they just adopted me, and they're just like come up to our hotel room and like playing Uno and talking about DMT and good times. Great times. There's another convention happening. This one was more like family friendly, but there's a more adult convention happening later this year in the area they were talking about as well. Listen, Eddie Elliott, I already set the boundary with you. You're in the wrong place for what you're looking for. More power to you for whatever you're into, but I already set my boundaries with that. Da 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 da. 7 some. Nah. We were joking though, like about the orgy and stuff like that. Oh man. I might be crazy, but non-alcoholic beers taste so much better than alcoholic beers. I've never tried them. I've never been a beer person, but I've only ever had the alcoholic kind.
Favorite foods like Bonza's rigatoni. And actually, after years of just being a customer, I'm especially grateful and excited to have Bonza as today's sponsor.
Okay, no, it was actually fucked up though. Like I felt like I was like hustling them because I sat down with like my deck of Uno cards. I was like, anyone want to play Uno? And I start like, you know, dealing the cards and playing the game. I win the first 2 games. And I also, because other people weren't like super versed in the game, I was the asshole to be like Uno when someone didn't say Uno. I was straight hustling them, bro. Not intentionally. I'm just too good. But then the other girl I was hanging out with, she won, so I didn't feel too bad, but it was an orgy with the minds conversation. Yeah, dude, it was so great to get to know them. I was like nervous, but I was just waiting in line, and I would have to like ask like where something was, and I would just go up to people and be like, "Oh my god, you're so and so," and like, "What's your social media?" Blah blah blah, and yeah, it's a cool experience. I had a good time. I want to go to more anime conventions for sure. They're cheaper than music festivals. Depending, because if you have to get the hotel and pay for all the expenses, it might be different, but 'twas good. All the DJs followed me back on Instagram. I was like, okay, swag, let's collab. And some of the photographers I shot with, I would love to collab with them again as well. Hi, big fan. What's up, Zorro? How do you know me? How you doing? I'm just a little guy. How's your day? Really good networking? Yeah, dude, because it's like, you can network online, but especially with AI and stuff, it's kind of hard to like really get that like connection. But when you meet someone in real life, like, you know, yeah, that's a real person. And yeah, you can feel their energy, and yeah, I would love to. I know Mila was one of the dancers. I tagged them on an Instagram post. Mila does YouTube and that kind of stuff, so I've been wanting to check out Mila's YouTube channel and maybe reach out to them to do more like cosplay collab things. They cosplayed Lucy, and their partner cosplayed David. It was super cute. But yeah, I've been wanting to, like, you guys have probably seen my tweets here and there. I'm like looking for more people to collab with, and it's like, it's kind of hard sometimes. But yeah, meeting people in person I think is a great way to do that. Thank you so much, Zoro. Okay, Steph Squires, Slave Eddie Elliott. If you are interested in that and you want to pay for something like that, please contact me elsewhere. Do some clicking, find the right places. This is my gaming cosplay channel. I literally just hang out. I'm a gremlin here. I'm not a goddess, queen, bitch. I just exist. I just exist here, okay? I'm not trying to be sexy or anything, you know. Hello, Chronic. Oh my god, do you see her? She's being so cute. It was so fun, Jack. What's up, King Richard? Literally just a guy, man. I'm just a guy. Hi. Bro, she's so sweet. If anything, she's the queen, okay? She's the queen. Her. This one. Okay, alright. Chronic!
A hall pass for great taste, chickpea base on screen, or head to
Chickpea noodles are
into the trenches,
great.
and they're clapping back at self-described anti-woke figures and defending creators like Hassan Piker. But to fully understand how we got here, we also have to go back a little bit. But really, if you're at all into video games and also somewhat online, you've probably at least heard about some of the controversy. Because really, ever since it was revealed that the main characters of Shadows were a woman ninja and a black samurai, the so-called anti-woke people have kind of been at the game's throat. Well, there are several things that are hit on. Mostly, they claim that the game is forcing the black character Yasuke into a prominent role when the game is set in feudal Japan. And with that, Yasuke is based on an actual figure, and there's a lot of historical debate about it, but most commonly accepted thing is that he was given at least some kind of status in Japan,
video games,
like
bro.
the samurai. You know, regardless,
let the
it's a
game
game about a
developers make what they want to
society
make.
of
If you don't want to play the game, don't play the game.
Creative liberties, right? And that was all before the game actually even came out. So, you know, ever since its release this month, we've seen figures in the anti-woke gaming sphere like
Okay,
Mark
all right,
Kern,
all right, Eddie, I'm gonna silence you because I just this. You're trying to entertain some weird kink you got, and you're in the wrong place. You are in the wrong place, okay? Go to the adult side of the internet. Okay? Look who you just got silenced by. Go check them out. Okay.
Against the game's so-called woke aspects. For example, they've bashed that both characters had same-sex romance options, and so when Hassan Piker did a sponsor stream of the game, it was like a perfect storm for them. But they got to bash a figure on the far left, and a game they currently despise. So we saw Kern tweeting out a screenshot of Hassan's sponsored tweet and writing. You can tell a lot about Ubisoft with how much money they're throwing at terrorist platforming streamers. But then Elon Musk even jumped into the mix and writing, Hassan is a fraud. And then Sellout would be more accurate. Objectively, he is promoting a terrible game just for the money. With that, then turning into an unexpected back and forth with Hassan bringing up the fact that Musk paid someone to play Path of Exile 2 for him at an extremely high level in order to look better at the game than he was writing. This bitch literally paid someone to power level his character in PoE 2. What you mean I'm a fraud? Elon, I challenge you to a duel in Elden Ring. I will cook your fat rolling ass. With that, then turning into Grums defending Elon by saying that he wasn't paid to play PoE 2 while asking how much Hassan was paid to play Shadows.
What is this
which Musk
drama
responded with this
between the richest man in the world and like Hassan Piker over a video game? Like, my parents told me growing up that video games aren't a job, okay? That's not, you know, that's not real life. But meanwhile, the richest man in the world is arguing about which video games are good and which ones aren't, with an alleged terrorist platformer, according to him. It's crazy. Oh man. You do have a very appealing visual effect about you, just saying. Okay, so it's not the place for it. I'm honored, thank you, but like, I literally, like, this account, I feel like I intentionally come on here looking like a fucking gremlin because I'm not trying to be cute. So it's very flattering that you guys still think I'm attractive. But like, it's not, like, I feel like a lot of people are like, you know what you're doing, but I'm literally so grungy. I stink. I smell like sushi and shame.
tweet where he also said that Hassan had blocked him, with Hassan then defending the block, saying that he was tired of Musk's post being all over his timeline.
Oh
after he
no,
bought
dude,
the site.
honestly, I kind of want to block Elon Musk sometimes because I'll go on X, I'll go on like my For You page, and it'll be Elon Musk 12 times in a row, and I'm like, bro, I don't even follow your ass. I don't care. He called him a chicken shit R word. He called him a chicken shit R word for blocking him. What?
Musk should come onto his stream and later added, if Elon isn't chicken shit, he'll come on the stream. But adding, we all know he won't. He ducked Mark Zuckerberg, he ran away from Jon Stewart, and now he's ducking a Twitch stream. He then also reposted clips of Musk's ex, Grimes, on his stream, asking him questions like, why are you so buff? While he was live yesterday, he also joked,
I'm gonna have Grimes on again on the broadcast. Keep this shit up, Elon.
20 years of Jonas, living the dream tour, performing big solo music administration, Joe and DNC.
You keep this shit up. I'm gonna have Grimes on the broadcast. I'm gonna have your daughter on the broadcast. You keep this shit up. You keep it going.
Oh man,
I'm gonna interview.
I'm
gonna interview everybody.
With then
I would ship Grimes and Hassan.
Actually revealing that he unblocked
I think if Grimes got with Hassan, she could have like her comeback, you know, for like the working class fans of hers who stopped being fans when she got with Elon. I think if she got with Hassan, I think people would be like, oh yeah, okay. I think they would do great things together, and they don't even have to. I'm not like forcing the ship, like whatever they want to do. But like if they were to hang out more, I think it'd be good. I think, yeah, you know, sinking to their level does not help. Oh man, but it's like such a weird landscape we live in politically and news-wise. Like, especially the past couple years, like, seeing more of people like Hassan and, like, YouTubers in the mainstream has been really weird to see. So it's like, don't stoop to their level, but, like, they're the people who are mainly getting, like, listened to with all of this. It's crazy. It's crazy. But sometimes, you know, if somebody's acting like an asshole, you gotta tell them they're acting like an asshole. And I mean, Elon Musk ain't never gonna see my tweet. I said, dude, it'd be crazy to see Hassan Piker debate Elon Musk. That'd be crazy. Yeah, dude. Yeah, honestly, since Trump has run for office, like, shit has really wound up politically. It has gotten real crazy. I somehow see exactly what they're doing. Yeah, it's like a part of me almost feels like it's like it can't even be real. Like it has to be like staged or some kind of publicity stunt, right? Like that's like my intuition is saying that, but I don't know if that's just like my skepticism, right? Because it's like too crazy, right? Like I don't know. Right. That's what it feels like, King Richard. That's what it feels like a lot of the time. But like with things that I've been involved in, like I feel like a lot of people thought those were staged and those were like just to like manufacture something, but I was like, no, that's real. That's, you know, that happened. That happened how it did. But, and yeah, like when I've asked, like, say when I had a phone call with Destiny and I was like, is this like, you know, real? He says it is. He says it all is. So, I don't know.
To appear on stream, with him going on to say,
my challenge is still simple. Elon Musk, come on the stream. Show everybody how afraid you are.
I would say probably even the real stuff when it is like, you have like this opportunity to monetize this controversy, it's like embellished a bit some of the time, but it's also like, yeah, there's like real shit, like real important issues in the midst of all of this kind of semi-manufactured controversy. I had a call with Destiny. I had a few public calls with Destiny, and I had a couple private ones, because I was just trying to gauge whether or not I even interact with this sphere, or like trying to get to know Destiny and why he says the things he does, because on the outside, looking at what Destiny would do, I was like, wow, he's being an asshole. He's being a real big fucking gross booty hole to a lot of people. And so, you know, I could be an asshole too. I know a lot of assholes, and I know a lot of assholes are assholes because there's lore. There's lore to the assholery. So I was just trying to see, like, having certain conversations, if there was any wiggle room for ways that I felt he was being, you know, very uncharitable to other people. So yeah, and I talked to him about, like, you know, the way he navigates the Hassan thing, and he said it was like, oh, well, you don't know how bad it is. You don't know how really bad this like sphere is, and like that, you know, like it's Hassan's fault, or it's other people's fault, and it's just everyone just kind of continues being toxic in certain ways while being like, oh, well, the other guy's way worse than I am, so it's okay when I be toxic. Whatever. Am I a mirror? I can be, no fucks. Da da da. Stuff like this happens all the time, but when it happens to public figures, you realize how crazy it looks. Yeah. I'm not familiar with Destiny you're speaking of. It's some guy who was in the gaming industry, turned politics. He named himself Destiny. And now he makes political commentary videos / drama videos. Mary Trump knows all the truth. She gives me hope. I don't know if I've heard much from Mary Trump.
Except, Elon Musk, you have backed away from challenges time and time again.
You know, all of this was already enough to make the situation spread across people's timelines, but then things really took off when Ubisoft itself decided to join in and respond to Musk calling Hassan a sellout with, "Is that what the guy playing your Path of Exile 2 account told you?" But then Grum's attempting to dunk on them, responding with an article that claims Shadows isn't the success that embattled Ubisoft needs right now. But then the social media person at Ubisoft being quick with it and posting, "Our game is out," which is a reference to the fact that Grum's has allegedly been developing a game for years now with no tangible progress. Which Grum's responded by making a few tweets making fun of Ubisoft and their game by pointing out that an indie game that just came out is doing better on Steam,
It's
claiming
so
that their
petty.
attempts to ratio him and Musk weren't successful. And there, while it is definitely true that Schedule 1 is doing better on Steam, a game like Assassin's Creed also relies heavily on platforms like PlayStation, Xbox, and such to do well, so that's not a huge indicator. But then also regarding the ratio, it looks like he took the screenshot right when it happened, because as of recording, it is a blowout with Musk's and Grum's tweets collectively getting 81,000 likes, whereas Assassin's Creed's clapback is sitting at 585,000. And this is, they also went on to retweet their burn against Musk with a quote from their own game, which also went viral. But I mean, it's even gotten to a point where it's spawning its own popular memes, and you have people claiming that the fact that the company stood up to Musk was enough for them to buy the game now rather than...
That's what I'm saying. The marketing is too good. The marketing for this game with this happening, it's no,
really,
it's
we
like...
haven't seen any real proof that the
if it's not
not to mention that it
staged,
appears that the
it's too
success
good,
of
bro.
Shadow
What
has
the
actually
fuck?
helped their stuff. Also, with this, I'll say that it's very interesting that a social media
Did it
team like
hurt
for
the neck?
Ubisoft
Yes.
is doing something like this. That's kind of rare, because they're at a place where they don't
And
want
he likes to leak people's private photos. Yeah, and the other thing about Destiny, the reason I stopped trying to understand where Destiny's coming from, like, what he does is his own fucking business. If people call him like a sex pest or like a predator or whatever, that's like his own thing. Because when that stuff all leaked, Dan Saltzman was the one to like run defense for Destiny, like making excuses for Destiny, portraying Destiny's character, even though Dan's not the best person himself. He just like, yeah. And so I messaged Destiny and I was like, hey, yo, this should be you. This should be you saying this. Like, you should be the one to say this. Like, and then he just like victimized himself, and he's like, well, they're not the only people whose news got leaked. No one cares like that it's my news that got leaked too. And it's like, that's not the fucking point. It's fucked up for anyone's explicit content to get leaked. It's the context of the matter, and it's the behavior, and like not just the nudes, but how you like say like, oh, these other people should kill themselves. Like, Like, you should know better than that. You should fucking know better than that. So his response to me when I was like saying, hey, that should be you saying these things, holding yourself accountable, talking about your own character, he said, none of you people are serious, like, fuck off, lol, or something, and then he unadded me. I'm like, okay, word, dude. Like, I wish you well, but like, if this is like the person you're choosing to be in this lifetime, and then you're getting that toxic energy mirrored back to you through other people, like, dude, that's the life you're choosing for yourself. And it's not that I'm an unserious person. I genuinely tried to connect with that person on the basis of connecting with them and not having something I could gain from them, because everything that I need, I, you know, like online, whatever, I can build that for myself. I can do that for myself. But just his repeated, like, bad faith characterizations of other people and lack of accountability for anything that he has personally done. Okay, dude, good luck. Good luck. And yeah, if people like Erudite or whoever want to yes man really toxic, abhorrent, abusive behavior, and blame everybody else who calls him out rather than taking account for the behavior is toxic, that's the life they want to live. That's, you know, everybody has like a freedom of choice, whatever. But the information is out there. Don't ever fucking send a man like that explicit content if you're a man or a woman, because he's into both. Don't send explicit content to people like that. And not to victim blame or anything, because you never know until it's too late, because that's the experience I had with it as well. Just, yeah, people like that, your body is so much more respectable than people like that, than giving it to people like that. People like that don't deserve to connect intimately with other people if they continue to do those things. Yeah, and I feel for his girlfriend. I hope his current girlfriend is okay in all of that, because it seems like his last one wasn't. So, but relationships are hard, and I continuously like open my Facebook, and people that I'm friends with on Facebook see like domestic dispute, consent violation, like so many people have their shit fucked. And that's why I think it's just so important for people who do, you know, like have hundreds of thousands of followers to at least try and be better people and be like, hey, you know, so, but like, good on him for saying like, you know, like, this isn't good, you guys shouldn't do this, I'll ban you if you justify it. But I don't know. It goes a step more for me to actually meaningfully take accountability, and like what Andrew Callahan did, for example. I think with the sex pest scenario that Andrew Callahan was involved in, he did address it and say like, hey, this behavior has been normalized with like a lot of guys, which it has, which is very toxic and should not be carried into the future. And you guys shouldn't do that, because it doesn't work. It just leads to like, you know, like more people being like, oh yeah, fuck that dude. And you don't want that, like, because your reputation does matter. And like the consent violations between intimate partners does matter, because people talk and it catches up with you. It's not, yeah, it's not worth it, dude.
Sales, and so you have outlets like Forbes backing this up, right? It is very hard to get tweets fully approved for big name
I would
brand
say
accounts.
people who care about you can hurt you, but if you care about someone and you hurt them, then you care about acknowledging that. If you deflect or if you blame everybody else, then you don't care about those people. You care about your own self-validation more than you do about like the other parties. So I think it's almost nearly impossible with the current state of the world to walk through this world and not hurt anybody or not be hurt by anybody. And that's not always from a place of not caring, but people have their own extenuating circumstances, which is understandable. But being able to come to the point where you can hold yourself accountable and actually address the harms that you might be either intentionally, hopefully not, or unintentionally causing others, like, that's a really big step for feeling safe with people, I think.
months and months of harassment is something to behold. Though I will say, I do think that we're going to see more and more of this in the future, especially on platforms like X. Because when it comes to all the different social media companies, there, yes, are a lot of similarities, but also, depending on certain platforms, things thrive more than in other places. And so, when it comes to X, I guess the primary currencies, I would call it, would be clapbacks and dunking on, right? X, Twitter, so much of it is
what's that
essentially...
breaking songline? I found that me, God, and the devil are all one in the same. I mean, context matters. Like, I have not been a good person a lot of different periods in my life. Like, if I'm in a toxic situation in my past, like, I've been reactive. I've yelled, I've broken things, I kissed a friend of mine without asking them, and I thought it was okay because that had been done to me before, like at a rave. Like, a girl came up to me and kissed me and didn't ask, and so unfortunately I inflicted the same behavior on someone, and that was wrong of me to do. And I wasn't able to conceptualize immediately the wrong I had done because it had been like the whole communication cycle of that was wrong on both sides, and the other party apologized to me because it wasn't direct, transparent communication on either end. And so these things happen. And Dat Katie, who I've talked to before on my stream, has made a video on this too. Like, the ways that some people will constantly point the finger at others, but will ignore their own consent violations or things that they've done that are maybe not right. Because I know a lot of these people who are criticizing Destiny right now, rightfully so, he deserves criticism, have been oh hey, oh my god, this dude sent me a dick pic, which sending a dick pic without consent is the first violation. That's wrong. You shouldn't do that. But then to go around and showcase it to other people, that is also a consent violation. So both are wrong. One, happens first, that, initiates it, but it doesn't justify the other one. So I think everybody can kind of have room to grow and room to learn for what, really respecting each other's autonomy looks like. Yeah, because I had fuck shit happen to me when I was younger, and that's no fucking excuse. But it did kind of warp my perception of what a healthy dynamic looks like. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's really hard to do that, King Richard, and it can be very painful because I feel like a lot of people conflate doing something wrong with being a bad person who should not exist. And there's varying degrees of this, obviously, but I don't think Destiny should go away forever, but I'm not personally interacting with him, his content, going on his streams, or co-signing him as a person or a creator until I see more accountability from him. And with people in the past where I've seen people hey, I don't like this thing you're doing, I did step away for a while until I could have that conversation with them where they can actually hold themselves accountable for the things that they were maybe not doing that were the best. And sometimes that really is, it just takes time for people to get to that point, because I know it took time for me to get to that point, and there's a lot of defensiveness, and yeah, especially if you've done kind of really shitty things, it's hard to be yeah, I did that, yeah, there's a lot of shit I'm not proud of that I've done, but I'll say that I've done it because I personally feel better about being alive when I'm authentic. But some people normalize lying, and I mean,
just people fighting. And so seemingly more and more people
those are your
want
demons,
brands
I guess.
to step up. Or when they get hit, they don't want some lawyer speak professional statement. They'd rather the brand respond, sounds like your bitch made. Now, obviously, not all brands. For now, we'll have to wait to see if the fuck it will never make them happy sort of mindset is what continues to grow, or if this is more of an outlier situation. But then, next up from that in the news, we got to talk about President Trump signing an executive order requiring people to show proof of citizenship before...
Moral of the story, try to think a lot all the time. Yeah, self-reflection is good. Also, don't lie. Yeah, lying is messy. Lying is really messy. A lot of people will be like, oh, well, sometimes you have to lie. Okay, like maybe like sometimes like you don't like be like, okay, here's my full docs, my first and last name and my address. Maybe you don't do that, but like maybe some white lies aren't as innocent as people think they are. What you don't know can't hurt you, right? I think people don't give human beings and their intuition enough credit for that, because I think even when people don't know that they're being lied to, they kind of know they're being lied to, you know?
registering to vote, which is notably something the executive branch.
Yeah,
really
I mean,
should be able to
acting's
do
one thing.
unilaterally,
If it's the intent to act, sure, that's one thing, but like, I don't know. If you don't lie, a lot will notice, good and bad. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, telling the truth too much and being too vulnerable can be kind of a weakness too. I've definitely learned that, but I feel better when I'm honest. I don't know.
Here's that Trump is trying to exploit
I
the
feel
Election
better about
Assistance
it.
Commission to do it. Or with that being an independent bipartisan agency that was created in Congress after the 2000 Bush
Worse
v.
if you're
Gore
telling the
fiasco that
truth, but they
supports
think
local
you're
election
lying.
officials.
But that's why fucking lying fucks up the world so much, because people are so conditioned to be lied to and distrustful of each other that it fucks up so much. It makes it harder for people to connect. And yeah, like when you're telling the truth and people think you're lying, like that really fucks up somebody's like psyche, I think. Especially when it's like something that's really important. Yeah. Yeah, and like it's so time consuming to like keep track of lies and whatever, and so I just you just look at someone differently when you catch them in a lie, you know? Like, and even if okay, so people misspeak though all the time. That happens. So for me, what makes me trust someone more is if they're perceived as being caught in a lie, but there's like the explanation makes sense and they acknowledge like, oh, okay, no, I know that looks like what that looks like to you, but like this is actually what it is. You know? Doom doom doom. I attempt to stick to the truth. Yeah, it's
by doing
good.
things
Good
like
place to
certifying
be.
voting equipment and funding tech upgrades. And so Trump's order directs the commission to add a proof of citizenship requirement to its voter registration form, and any states that refuse to comply will be starved of federal funds. Now, notably, with that, to be clear, the current form already makes you swear under penalty of perjury that you are a citizen and ask for a driver's license number, state ID number, or social security number. But you see, Trump, he wants to require actual documentary proof, and only certain documents count, namely a U.S. passport, a military ID, or an ID that complies with the Real ID Act or otherwise proves citizenship. With very notably, birth certificates not explicitly being mentioned, which has led to some to presume that they won't count since Trump's already trying to divorce being born here from being a citizen by repealing birthright citizenship. Now, officially, the purpose of this order is to prevent non-citizens from voting, but the thing is, there's no evidence that non-citizens actually do vote in any meaningful numbers. But I mean, in 2016, for example, the Brennan Center for Justice found just 30 cases of suspected non-citizens voting out
Have
of
a good night,
23.5
John. Thanks for
million
hanging
votes cast,
out.
or 0.0001%.
I took a nap,
Trump's
so
own
I woke
Election
up at
Integrity
like
Commission
7.
disbanded without releasing evidence of voter fraud. And then when non-citizens do vote, they tend to be legal immigrants who mistakenly believe that they're eligible. So by most accounts, it really doesn't appear like it's something that people are getting away with, especially at any sort of meaningful scale.
Yeah, Richard, totally. I get that. Like, if you're in a situation where it's not safe to be authentic, like, yeah, I get what that's like. I told some big lies that had really big repercussions because I didn't feel like I was safe to be myself and to tell the truth and to share my experience, because I knew that no matter what, I was going to be misunderstood and probably hurt. So that was not a safe place to, yeah. And honestly, I think that can translate to online, because I feel like people online can think that they have like this really important reputation to uphold, and they don't want people to misconstrue it, so they won't let like any of it out there. But the thing is, sometimes depending on what you're doing, it gets out there anyways. So I think it's just better to be transparent so people don't, I don't know, run with it, unless I guess you're actually doing something you probably shouldn't be doing. It's hard to be honest about that. And yeah, people online, like, Like, some people online, they criticize people because they want people to do better, or they want the world to be a better place. And some people online criticize people because they want to watch the world burn, and they don't care about the truth, and they don't care about what happened, and they are just escaping their own shittiness by, yeah, just wanting a dumpster fire to occur in front of them that distracts them from their own shit. So, yeah, the world is full of nuance. It's full of nuance, man. But I just, there were just like little moments for me though, like after I got out of those unsafe situations where I couldn't be myself, that just sharing pieces of myself, like, this is me, this is my truth, this is how I feel about the world, this is how I feel about myself, being authentic about those things have made me feel really empowered and really good.
Right, every voter registered and every ballot cast leaves a paper trail that election officials routinely examine, and registering or voting without citizenship are crimes punishable by several years in prison or deportation. But there's also here seeing Sean Morales Doyle, a lawyer at the Brennan Center, hitting on this, telling NBC News, this is a crime where not only are the consequences really high and the payoff really low, you're not getting millions of dollars. It's not robbing a bank. You get to cast one ballot. But what also makes this somewhat unique is that committing this crime actually entails the creation of a government record of your crime, which was just one of the reasons that critics argue that this executive order really isn't about non-citizens, right? Arguing that it's actually meant to effectively disenfranchise tens of millions of legal citizens. And that because for a lot of people, especially lower income folks, proving that you're a citizen can be a huge hassle, right? Among other things, according to the State Department, only about half of Americans had U.S. passports last year. Also, according to the Brennan Center, 9% of eligible voters don't have proof of citizenship readily available. Additionally, only 5 states offer enhanced driver's licenses that show proof of citizenship. And then, some of the other documents listed in Trump's order, like real IDs and military IDs, don't always show proof of citizenship either. But then also, that's not everything the order does, because it also directs the Justice Department to sue states that accept ballots postmarked on or before Election Day and received afterward, with a very big thing there being that those states also get starved of federal funds. It then also bans election equipment that uses
By the way,
QR
if you
codes
guys are
requiring-
lurking and watching the live, if you could give the live a like, that'd be super rad. I'm getting really close to monetization on YouTube, and then we'll be able to do the like subscription or the memberships and things like that. Working on some perks for that.
Costly replacements that'll be harder to pay for without those federal funds.
I
And
am
lastly,
gonna
it
do my
asks the
makeup,
Department
though.
of Homeland Security and the
I've been
Doge team
yapping
to
for a
subpoena
minute.
states for their voter rolls so they can hunt for ineligible voters. Which is a move that critics fear would let Elon Musk amplify more
dad's
lies
full
about voter
name.
fraud the same way he spread baseless claims of Social Security fraud. Plus, there's a worry that databases might seem like they include non-citizens when they're just outdated and those people have since been naturalized. And so if the Doge team prompts state governments to purge
Fred?
their voter rolls, that could disenfranchise eligible voters too. Now with this, I'll say, like with virtually everything Trump's done since taking office, this order is all but certain to be challenged in the courts, especially as numerous election law experts have pointed out that the president has almost
What about
no
him?
authority over election rules. The Constitution generally leaves it up
Oh,
to
the
each
story
state.
is so funny because there are briefing all the time and not sharing secrets and not using those apps. Oh, on not using Signal in like your area, Kellogg, you have briefings to not do that. And then like your higher ups are just, hey, can I get a Big Mac and did you drop that bomb yet? What? That's why I'm so anti-war, because it is literally fucking like people who act like toddlers deciding who gets bombed and why, and it pisses me the fuck off. I've always had a problem with authority, and that's actually what led to a lot of my trauma, because it was indoctrinated into me that you need to respect authority, and I just went the opposite way. And so I just have always questioned this shit, and then just like, yeah, just look at George Bush, man. Like, look at the soldiers who were like, fucking Iraq, Afghanistan, that shit was a mistake. We should not have done that shit. We're very, very clearly higher IQ than George W. Bush. I'm sorry. And Dick Cheney. That's why I'm so anti-war, because we are fucking shit up. We are fucking it up. We are fucking it all up. We need to stop. Just fucking stop. Every country, stop. 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 We're not evolved enough to make these decisions. Take the keys away from grandma, okay? shit.
Determine how its elections are run, though Congress can impose some minimum standards. But even for that, it would need to pass a law, which is something the Republicans are currently trying to do with the SAVE Act, which would require proof of citizenship, including birth certificates. So, of course, the big thing is that bill is expected to have a hard time getting through the Senate. But going back to it, as he signed the executive order yesterday, Trump suggested this was only the beginning.
There are other steps that we
I'm
will
so
be
sorry,
taking in the
Kellogg. I
next-
love you
in
so
the
much,
coming
buddy.
weeks. This country is so sick because of the election, the fake elections. And the
Kellogg,
bad
I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but the people I were face painting, I think they were all in the Air Force. At least one of them for sure was. 2 of them. Right. Oh my god, and those sweet babies. Like, they got to work at the anime convention, I think, like, you know, when they're back here, like, you know, and I'm just like, I fucking love you guys so much. Please stay. Don't get deployed. Just hang out. Just, like, we could all just have an anime convention all day long. Like, you know, like, it could be chill. We could just all be chill. I'm gonna cry thinking about this. Because, like, some of the fucking panels at the anime convention were literally, like, talking about, like, anime and alternative media as, like, resistance, as forms of resistance. I hate war. I hate war. And I'm tired of being told I'm mentally ill because I don't want countries to go to war and bomb innocent kids. How does that make me the mentally ill one? It's not that I'm uninformed on how all of this shit works. Maybe I don't know the micro details. But, like, are you guys not watching this shit either? Like, what? I'm sorry. Japan Con in San Antonio? Ooh, I would love to check out more cons I haven't been to. I hadn't been to an anime convention since pre-pandemic, and this was my first one back, and I was like, oh my god, this is what I needed. And honestly, like, I'm so much more excited to go to, like, an anime convention than the fucking grocery store. Because, like, I'm sorry, guys. Low-key doxing myself. One of the closest grocery stores to me is in Boulder, Colorado. I live in Boulder, Colorado. And one of the closest grocery stores to me got shot up. And a bunch of people died. At a King Soper's. And I just, like, get so agoraphobic. And it's like, yeah, that could happen anywhere. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to an anime convention. At least I'm going to out with my homies. You know, I hope that never ever happens. I pray to God that never happens because that's so fucked up. But it's just like, I just like think about that. Like, my partner said they went into that grocery store one time to get something and that their stomach just like, they got nauseous, like being in the store. Like, I just want to pick food in a garden, watch anime, and sail on a pirate ship and not get blown up. And I just want to live in One Piece. Someone came in my chat and they said, you're my favorite One Piece character. And I'm like, I fucking love you. It's okay. All right. I love you guys. Back to the video. We're crashing out.
What if the lottery was on your phone?
No, I don't want to play the lottery.
One way or the other.
But for now, we're going to have to wait to see how this plays out. Though, there are a number of people very concerned.
Thank you so much,
especially because
Caleb.
in connection to this, people have been looking back and sharing that clip of Trump on the election trail where he said,
You gotta get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have
Shut
it fixed so
up.
good you're not gonna have to vote.
and then we'll get to more news in just a moment. But, you know, we've all had this
Hey.
experience, right? You search for something and then suddenly
What?
targeted ads are popping up everywhere. And I've definitely had those moments where I was like, is this ad targeting me because I said something to Linz out loud? It's all super weird. But yeah, you know, main thing here, there is a massive data collection industry behind the internet, and most have no idea can take control of your privacy as they reach out to data brokers for you, requesting the removal of your personal data and handling their objection. You know, data brokers, they're not just collecting basic contact information, they're tracking shopping habits, search history, medical interests, I mean, even data on your family. All that starts filling in the gaps, right? Like when researching a vacation destination recently, I suddenly started getting credit card offers, travel rewards. But Incognito doing the heavy lifting, I had my data cleared from hundreds of brokers, saving me countless hours of frustration. So, you know, do this for yourself today. Just scan the QR code or head to incognito.com/DeFranco and use code Franco to get 60% off. That's incognito.com/DeFranco, code DeFranco to take your
I'm here
personal
for
data
motivation
off
and
the market.
comedic
But then,
relief.
next up today, in some other big news, the Film Academy refused to support an award-winning director after he was beaten and taken by Israeli soldiers.
What is
And
this
what
shit?
The directors of the documentary No Other Land Are Alleging happened to their Palestinian collaborator Hamdan Bilal. And for those who don't know, Bilal is one of the several co-directors of the film, which won Best Documentary at the Academy Awards just a few weeks ago. It's about Israeli displacement of Palestinians living in the West Bank, and it was made by a group of Palestinian and Israeli filmmakers. And on Monday, Bilal was one of 3 Palestinians detained in a West Bank village. With seeing the IDF tweeting out that a violent clash broke out after people were throwing stones at Israeli citizens, and claiming that when the IDF showed up, people began throwing stones at them, and the forces arrested 3 Palestinians accused of participating as well as an Israeli who was involved in the clash. But you then also had one witness disputing that version of events to the Associated Press.
Oh, I think I have heard of Mary Trump, actually.
The incident told the outlet that around 24 settlers, some masked or carrying guns, attacked the village.
Yeah, I have heard of her.
Ramadan.
Now that you bring her up
wife allegedly heard
for the second time, I remember hearing her.
And with that, Adra saying that Bilal was then handcuffed and blindfolded and taken into a military vehicle, with other witnesses backing up details of his account, and another one of the co-directors of No Other Land posting a video claiming to show settlers throwing rocks.
What is this, bro? What is happening? This is so fucked.
Like I said, not long ago, Bilal was in Los Angeles picking up the most prestigious prize in Hollywood. And with that, you saw places like The Intercept noting that this award-winning filmmaker was the victim of the very violence his documentary depicts. And with that, the outlet also noted that settler violence, yes, it's common in the area he's from, but it's also actually increased since the Oscars. With Adra even telling the AP, we came back from the Oscars and every day since there is an attack on us. This might be their revenge on us for making the movie. It feels like a punishment. And then, with that, yesterday morning, we got the news that Bilal was released and taken to the hospital. And in testimony obtained by the AP, he said he had gone out to film the settlers as they attacked homes in the village. But when he got back to his house, a settler who had previously threatened him showed up with 2 soldiers. He also denied that he threw stones and told the AP that he was blindfolded for 24 hours and adding, "All my body is pain. I heard the voices of the soldiers. They were laughing about me. I heard Oscar, but I didn't speak Hebrew." With reports also saying that settlers had attacked Jewish activists at the scene as well.
The dude in charge is into this, so it's going to be hard to get them to speak up. Right, real news, but everyone is fighting over Hexeth. You heard the plan. It's part of their plan. Whose plan? Wait, or what are you talking about? Thank you, I just flipped it over to the side. I'm thinking about shaving my head again. I have a head tattoo right here, so I might just do a side shave. I need a haircut. It's been a minute. To turn where they live into a hotel. Yeah, they've been very clear about that from the beginning. And even before October 7th, there's been things said that you can document that this has been the plan for a long time. And that's actually, you could argue, what led to October 7th, which it's horrible to kill people, to do any act of terrorism, but it's horrible to take people's lands, to push people out, to treat people as second-class citizens. So disgusting. So disgusting. There's so much. There's just so much. Jesus is about to be resurrected. Yeah. I made a tweet. I hope so. We'll see. There's some Christians literally being brainwashed, though. That, oh, the Israelis are God's chosen people. Everything that's happening there is, what's meant to be. And it's bro, I'm sorry. I think Jesus would be yeah, stop bombing the kids, motherfuckers. Right? It's just so insane how brainwashed some people are. Easter is what I meant. Yeah, I'll pray, man. I'll pray. My friend, lovely friend of mine, is a Christian Palestinian. And I tried to bring up the existence of Christian Palestinians to Destiny, and he didn't want to talk about it. Too anecdotal, too biased. But Destiny will go to Israel and talk with people there who are doing great with all of this bombing happening. Oh, he'll even tell them, oh yeah, don't wear their dresses, don't take pictures, shit like that. Wow, I gotta find that clip. I gotta make a fucking video essay on this. I'm not scared of Destiny and his fucking community anymore. Fuck it. Because some of the shit he said is just so fucking wrong. And he's saying he wants to build bridges with people who are more on the Palestinian side, but that is just such a bullshit lie. That is just such a fucking bullshit lie. Because anybody who disagrees with something fucked up he's saying, he'll call them a dumbass R word. Like, it's insane. It's insane. And Erudite saying that they want to talk with more Palestinian activists. Okay, I have a very dear friend of mine who is a Palestinian activist, but is afraid to talk to people like you because you think it's funny to make jokes about being pro-genocide while it's actually happening. Insane. Like, there should be a video plastered on their channel for like an apology for that comment alone. Like, just a video dedicated to apologizing for that one fucking comment, because that one comment is just so fucking disgusting. Huh, man. Ask Malala Yousafzai. I'm not sure if I'm familiar. Behind the line news. I'll have to look into it. You know what's fucked up? More journalists have died in Gaza than anywhere else in the world in the past few years. So fucked. So fucked. She is the real Joan of Arc. Okay, cool. I'll look into her. If you're still in the Discord, King, I haven't been there and been checking in there in a minute, but post it in there. Think she's just ranting? Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm just ranting, but it's ranting that goes into like the video we're talking about, and just some experiences I've had as a streamer. Some of you guys know, some of you guys don't know. Kellogg knows. I know Kellogg knows. To everybody else, it might seem like I'm just rambling, ranting, but it's my channel, you know? That's what it's for. That's why we're here. All right.
Well, right, with this whole situation, it's prompted a ton of outrage in the film industry. Like, while Bilal's whereabouts were still unknown, a group of filmmakers signed a petition demanding his immediate release and safety. The International Documentary Association also released a statement asking for the same, and further demanding that his, quote, family and community be informed about his condition, location, and the justification for his detention. With also other stations or film groups releasing similar pleas, and you had Mark Ruffalo demanding that the Academy of Motion Picture...
There are real problems in the world. Some are just in Bibles. Does that make sense? Could you elaborate a little more? I love Mark Ruffalo.
Sciences, which puts on the Oscars, also speak out, writing in an Instagram comment, every filmmaker and Academy member should be acting together in protest, no matter where you stand on this issue.
And this is what I am saying to my fellow content creator friends, is we should be acting together at this point. Like, we really should be. My phone is at 5%, by the way, so I'm going to have to charge it in a second, but, which means I'll probably get off stream for a little bit. But yeah, I really think, just like Mark Ruffalo is calling on his fellow actors and actresses, I'm calling on my fellow content creators. I know Bumble, you've already been outspoken, like you're talking with me in the chat. Certain people are in certain positions where they can't do that much, and I totally understand that. But if you can, explore creative ways about what you can do to advocate for more peace in this world, and meaningful peace, not just, you know, treating people like second-class citizens and putting them in boxes. Like, meaningful peace, meaningful equality for people, and not killing people over territory, and finding a way to coexist. Music, creation, yeah, there's so much you can do to advocate for peace. You don't have to share horrible videos of things happening, but people should be aware of things happening, you know, at the same time. But there's a lot of different ways you can do it. There's so many different ways you can do it. I'm going to... It's why you know Mozart. Ooh, was there some activism behind Mozart? I'm unaware of this. That sounds fascinating. Let's see. I got 4% on my phone. We're gonna try and finish the rest of the video.
Attack on our beloved art form of filmmaking. Hamdan Bilal
I gotta
is
learn
a
more about
prisoner,
this.
and this is
That'd be
an
a cool deep
international
dive.
incident in violation
Like the
of human
activism
rights.
within
But then
art.
also this morning, you had No Other Land co-director Yuval Abraham saying that the Academy dismissed calls to address the situation, writing, several U.S. Academy members, especially in the documentary branch, pushed for a statement, but it was ultimately refused, saying we were told that because other Palestinians were beaten up in the settler attack,
works
it could be considered
transcends time.
unrelated to the film, so they felt no need
Still
to
though,
respond.
like,
Continuing,
that's,
in other
you know,
words,
like, creating more that is like the draw to like live life in like a creative way rather than a survival, like primitive, violent way, I think is really, really important. And it's so sad, like, how much beautiful Palestinian architecture has been destroyed. Like, it's so fucked. Like, Jesus was born 2 hours from where the bombing is taking place in Gaza right now. Like, so much historical architecture. One of the oldest Christian churches has been obliterated. So when people are, like, being Islamophobic about this and acting as if it's just the Arabs that are being blown up, you're so short-sighted about that.
While Hamdan was clearly targeted for making No Other Land, he was also targeted for being Palestinian, like countless others every day who were disregarded. This, it seems, gave the Academy an excuse to remain silent when a filmmaker they honored living under Israeli occupation.
Right, they could not predict YouTube.
This, as he added, it's not too late for the Academy to change their mind, and that a statement condemning the attack could still be meaningful. Now with that, I'll say that his statement has prompted tons of responses from people slamming the Academy, but also so far the Academy has not publicly responded to the backlash, with Hollywood Reporter noting that the organization has a long-standing policy of not commenting on matters outside of its immediate
Copernicus knew YouTube was going to exist. How so?
If anything changes, and in the meantime, of course, I'd love to know your thoughts here. Then, switching gears from that, next up for your daily good news to keep you sane, we've got a pilot and his 2 daughters being rescued after surviving 12 hours on the wing of their crashed plane. So the way this story goes is that on Sunday afternoon, a pilot took his 2 young girls out for a sightseeing flight on the Kenai Peninsula in a Piper PA-12 Super Cruiser. Then they didn't make it back Sunday night when they were supposed to, which prompted a family member to take to Facebook, pleading with the community to help find the small plane because it didn't have a locator beacon. And as luck may have it, one of the people who saw that post was Terry Goetz, who joined roughly a dozen other pilots in looking for the plane on Monday morning. But Terry then heading towards a lake at the foot of a glacier when he saw the wreckage, saying it kind of broke my heart to see that, but as I got closer down and lower, I could see that there's 3 people on top of the wing. So he said he said a prayer, he headed towards the plane, and that's when he saw that all 3 people were alive and moving, even waving to him. But Terry then getting on the radio saying that he'd found them and their location was relayed to troopers. And so after roughly 12 hours and below freezing temperatures on the wing of this plane, the family was rescued via helicopter with no significant injuries, though the dad was hypothermic to some extent. And notably, according to the commander of the National Guard Aviation Unit that did the rescuing, this was the luckiest way the situation could have turned out, saying it was literally the best possible scenario and outcome. Ultimately, the crew of that plane were lucky because from what my guys told me, that plane was in the ice with the tail refrozen, and if that tail hadn't refrozen, it would have sunk. Now, as far as other information, we currently don't know why the plane crashed, but according to the Alaska Department of Fish and Game, that area is, quote, notorious for its sudden, dangerous winds, with also a local meteorologist adding the terrain helps turn the winds around, and occasionally they get a little swirly. You and Terry also agreeing that the area can be dangerous to fly in, both with the winds and the water being whipped up into waves, saying it's just a recipe for chaos and for turbulence. But the main thing here is that everyone here is safe and sound, all thanks to these
Much
fans
love
who
to you,
just
King
went out in
Richard.
search of this family.
Thanks for being here. No, an advertisement.
Why has your mom been so careful?
I think the show's just about over though, and my phone is about to die, so I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. But thank you everybody so much for being here. Much love to you all. Say goodbye to Chronic. We will be back. We'll be back. I love you guys. I love you. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Take care of everyone around you. Much love. Goodbye.